You're not listening to any music, you know, it's just.
So I would start recording.
This is what, episode 3?
Episode 3.
Episode 3, guys. 3. Sales as a profession.
This one
Three.
is running. 3.
This one is running. This one is running. This one is running.
Trois.
Yes, correct. So good afternoon, folks. And if you didn't see our Instagram live that we did Friday, thanks to Digicel for such a great network that allowed me to be there live. But we were actually talking about specifically the fact that, for example, today's the 25th. You have tomorrow, which is the 26th, 27th, and 28th. You have 3 days left in your month. How are you going to finish strong? Are you on target? You on target?
No, actually.
Ooh.
We are a little bit off target.
I'm a bit off target as well this month. Some factors out of my control, but
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
but we're looking at this in terms of once you have factors in your control, you have product, you have your service, you're able to deliver for the client. What can you do to get
To close
your
the
month
numbers.
strong?
Yeah.
Lovely. Why I think it's important though, like what brought this about for you?
You know, we were having I was having a discussion with a colleague of mine last week, and she was concerned in relation as to where her numbers were, and we started to look at where her pipeline was, and some of the techniques that she was actually using. And strangely enough, it actually fell into a little note on perspective, but we'll touch on that after.
Yeah.
Right, but the main thing was that she had to figure out how she was going to close the month. And I gave her a story, and I'll maybe share it again with you guys listening in. That a couple of years ago, I had 4 days to close the month. I had no deals, and I was scared, man. I was scared. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen. We had a meeting Monday morning coming up, and I didn't want to have anything like 0 on the board.
Correct.
So what I started to do is that I started to think, again, when you're back against the wall, all kind of stuff just come out of your head, right?
Creativity that just appear
So
when you're under stress.
what ended up happening is that I created a text message, and I went straight into a place that I should have gone from day one in the month. I went to the classified ads in the newspapers.
Oh, lovely.
And everyone that was selling a car got a text message. And it was well crafted. It was a little bit promotional. It spoke about particular things about safety and value and all these other different things. And guess what? Now, this was 11:30 a.m. 11 p.m. I cannot sleep because my number was low. Now, there's another thing too. If you're falling asleep and you have no numbers as a sales person, if those things don't bother you,
Something wrong.
I have a concern with that. Right? As a sales manager, I have a concern with that.
If you
Those
have a
things are
good night's
postable.
sleep and you hit target, something wrong.
Right? So I sent her that email, that text message, and this is before Instagram days. So it was an old Nokia, it was a green screen phone, and I had to hit one button 3 times
No
to get the letter.
Facebook.
You understand? No Facebook, no nothing.
Nothing.
And so it was painstaking. It was slow. But guess what? Within 30 minutes, I started to get text messages back.
Oh wow. At that
At
hour of the
11
night?
p.m., I started to get text messages coming
At
back.
that hour of the night?
That's right.
Damn.
And guess what? By the end of the month, I booked 3 deals. However, I found 4 new opportunities. One started the new month with me. Yeah?
Okay, that boss.
Yeah.
You're on point there.
Yeah.
You're on point.
But again, we had to be creative.
Had to be. If you're not creative, then
No, yeah,
not possible.
you have to start. You see, in sales, again, one of the prerequisites in terms of being a salesperson, sales as a profession,
yep.
you have to be able to be an innovative thinker. You have to figure out, apart from all the things that your sales manager will teach you, all the things that the brand or whatever it is that the solution is, you will know what those things.
Always need
But
to
you
be
need to
creative.
be creative. You need to figure out how am I going to approach these people.
Let me ask this strange question. Now we're talking about this on the 25th of the month. Is it that in sales? Let me ask you a question. Do you know if you're going to hit target in March? Like March 1st, do you know you're going to hit as a sales? If you have everything managed properly, do you know March 1st, yes, I'm going to end the month on target for the end of March?
Based upon how you're managing your pipeline, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, would you blame reps for being in this position? Is it just sometimes a lack of experience?
Lack of experience, but then those who are seasoned, I will blame them. because you're not taking it. You see, your pipeline needs a guide. Your pipeline needs a guide, and your pipeline needs a tool to tell you exactly where it is you need.
That is a daily, weekly, monthly guide, yearly guide in terms of how much commission you're going to make.
Yeah, you need to know your pipeline off the back, off the top of your head.
You need to know it off the top of your head. That's so important.
Yeah, that is your guide. That is your measuring stick as to where does it need to end up and what is it that you need to do to fill the gaps. What happens if a customer drops out of your pipeline? You tell your manager that you're going to close the month at X.
Especially if that was the one.
And that was a big one to help you carry over. Yeah. What are you going to do after that? Well, then you're off.
Correct.
And you will definitely be in a hole. Excuse me. And then there's a flip side to that too. What happens if it is that you just have no activity altogether?
Correct. So then is it correct to say if I am in this position at the point of the month, the first thing, which is the best thing I should do, shouldn't always be I need to go to my pipeline and see what's happening. If I want to finish my month strong, go to my pipeline.
One of the things I would always recommend to any, especially when you want to close your month, always be looking at, don't just look at this month. Always try to, I have a little motto that I say, always ahead, never behind. Right? So I would look at March, April, and May.
Okay.
And I will start putting activities in for March, activities in for April, and activities in for May. Right. If I could bring any one of those opportunities, those April and into March, that's great. Because what you would also want to be is ahead of your quarterly and your biannually and your annual targets.
Correct. Do you think you should go with price as the main thing in order to say, at this stretch?
Or do you go with the last 4 days?
In the last 4 days, do you go with price to bring sales?
It depends. It depends on what industry, and if you're in retail, if you're like a Mickles and you wanna really hit your numbers, of course you can give a couple of discounts. But really and truly, that shouldn't be a leading indicator to close the opportunities.
No, but I think I will contradict that because I think it depends on the industry.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so like if it's a recurring subscription they have, I think it's wrong to discount your service because it means that you have to continuously do it, or it means you have to get even more people on board in order to get the target level. Because remember, if you discount, it means that yes, you might hit your volume target, but your revenue target is going to be down. Yeah. And that's what you need to look at. And then you have to keep looking at, depending on the type of service you have. If you give the customer this discount and they have to renew at any point in time, they're going to want the same discount, and you might not be able to afford it the next month. You may not have that budget, you may not have that flexibility.
Yeah.
If it's like in a case of a Mickles, I think of course you're dropping.
You can do all kind of stuff with that.
I think you have flexibility. Those one-off sales, they have a reason because they know their bottom line. So that's why I think it always depends on which industry.
That's correct. That's the reason why I use Mickles as an example was to indicate based upon where you are, and even sometimes in my area, our seniors may want to give a couple of percentage points off. But here's the thing, that is not sometimes always the leading indicator for our customers to close.
Correct.
Understand? So
my customers get a discounted price and they still don't.
It's not the trigger. It's not the trigger.
Not the trigger.
That would see that falls into another discussion that we'll have to have with all other sales professionals, and really and truly understanding the stages that the customer is in their buying cycle. Because remember, we have a sales process. We have a sales cycle that we follow.
But you need to know the customer sales cycle. Process.
So hence the reason where if somebody is forecasting, and all of this ties into today's topic, is that if I'm forecasting to you that I'm going to close this by the end of February, and I don't, apart from just price, you would then have to ask me, where exactly is the customer in terms of making the decision?
Thank you.
You understand?
So then let's look at it. It's the 25th of the month. I'm sitting on in sales, and I can't hit target. What do I need to do to get there? Like what do I need to do? What's the first step we should put down in terms of going and hit target? What is the first thing you think you should
revisit your pipeline and look at what your strategies were for your prospecting?
So step one, pipeline.
All right. So the first one is your pipeline. The second thing that you would want to do is look at where your closing rate percentile. So you may have customers who are your 50s, 60s, 70s and above. If those haven't closed as yet, those are the people that you want to start talking to.
True.
Yeah, because of course you're not going to start with people who is at 10%, right? So you look for anybody that's closer to 100% in terms of where your close ratios are.
Yes.
But at the same time, and here's where I would always recommend, whether you're seasoned or you're brand new, you should always have, let's say for instance, your sales manager there with you to help guide you, because they will want to be able, they are sometimes, well, what should I say? They're keen in really understanding exactly where your opportunities are and which ones they can really push towards helping you close, because they maybe want to make a decision to say, you know what, Jared, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, let's do this for the customer if this is going to turn it over. Yeah. So you can ask the customer when you're having a conversation with them towards working them to close custom questions like, okay, so if it is that we do this for you today, would you be able to close now? You're looking for, you're starting to negotiate towards closing certain things faster. So it should really be a collaborative effort, because the salesperson may not have the ability to make those types of decisions on their own.
I'll give it from my perspective. I think about it like, so guys, for me, if I know today's the 25th and we're talking about Sunday, so I'll be not thinking Monday, like today's the 25th. Say 75% to your target, say 50% to your target. You're just trying to hit some sort of threshold to make sure that you can achieve as close as you can to target. The first thing I would do, as I said, is look at the pipeline. The second thing that I would start doing is that I would start immediately reaching out to clients. But don't just call to say, hey, I called to find out if you're ready to sign a contract. Like, the client's going to say, duh, I know that's why you're calling. Mm-hmm. What you need to do is actually start, all right, I go through my pipeline. There are 10 customers I can actually reach out to now to do something for them to get their business into my pipeline before the end of the month. Then I start breaking it down and writing, what is the value or what is the benefit to them in terms of closing this month? And if I look at it from their perspective, because I'm going to try to inconvenience them in a sense in order to come on board to my system or come on board and take my product, take my service. And from there, I start crafting messages. Immediately, I'll start calling out. And some of you might wait till Monday. Don't wait till Monday. Send an email now. Right now. I'm telling you. The only best time to reach executives and decision makers, Sundays are a real good time. Sunday from all now in the afternoon, when after they take care of all the church and all the headaches during the day, and as they die down time so they can relax, shoot that email off to them. That's right? Shoot it off. Right? And when they do it, Monday morning now come, they could probably do a follow-up call to say, I sent you an email, just want to make sure you receive it. And the purpose of me sending the email to you, don't say the reason for follow-up, the purpose of me sending that email to you is because I think we could close and do your business this month, because it gives you this sort of benefit now at this time.
So here's another question, right?
Yes.
And there's a reality in itself.
Yeah.
Let's say we do all of this and the month, you still close at 50%. What happens for you for the rest of the month? Or for the rest of the quarter into the year? How do we make up that shortfall?
In terms of making up the numbers they missed.
Yes.
That means so I think, all right, so for me, what I have running right now is that I have, based on my performance last year, I have a running target for this year. So it means that anything that once it is that I'm behind in any numbers, it rolls over. I don't look at it as gone from last month. So if I don't hit a target from last month, because as you said, we have quarterly, yearly targets, everything like that, I rolls over. And you have to absorb that and add that to your how much calls you need to make, how much visits, how much closes you need. Because if you keep thinking, I was 25% short of a target, and the next month you're 10% short, and the next month you're this short, eventually at some point in the year, you're going to be 100% off from your target. Yeah. You're going to be way off because you just not missing the target. You just keep not hitting it. Yeah. So then when you look at the overall target, you're like, why am I 50% behind from last year? Because you're 10% off each month. You're 15% off each month. That's what happens.
But what? So in essence, what Jared is saying there is this: whatever your shortfall is for this particular month, it should fall into your target for the next month. Now, realistically, if it is that you can't make that up in the following month, feel free to spread it across a 3-month, 2-month, 6-month, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to close at 100%. Right? So I have seen or worked with salespeople who they miss 50% of the target this month, but they just started over with the fresh month's target. They're not even carrying it over. And
can't be like that.
You will have a deficit. You will be short by what it's 1/3 or 25% for the year, and that's not good.
And here the reason too, right, guys? Because this is how you have to look at it. If you didn't hit your target by 50% and you go over to the next month, just taking March's target and nothing from February. You need to analyze your pipeline. Was it that I wasn't able to close these because it's a lost opportunity, or just that the person didn't want to close at this time? So is it that, yes, I have this opportunity to close in March in addition to everybody else? Or was this a completely lost opportunity that I would not get back again for the rest of the year? Like, you really need to understand and analyze those numbers. Like, those numbers are key. important to you to understand what you got hitting target. Because what you might do for February month might be an icing on the cake for March month. So you really need to understand where this customer was. Is it that I can close them in March, close them in April? Can I close them in the quarter? What can I actually do with this customer? Is it that it's just a complete loss case? So,
which is hardly ever, again, it's hardly ever the key. It should actually hardly be ever be the case, because of the fact that if you're doing the right things, if you're prospecting, identifying the right type of customers, right? If you're raising the customers' awareness in terms of the value that you can provide to them, if you're doing all those things properly, you'll never really lose it. What it will give you the ability to do is now forecast at the right time.
Accurately.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to be able to do. I have made errors. I mean, and I'm having this discussion because I'm an ace when it comes to prospecting. Sometimes there may be things that I miss, right? But the reason why I can say this is because there's a lot that I learned from particular failures, from giving the wrong forecast, and I have to come back and make an explanation for it. So when you are in sales, first thing first, make sure that you're doing the right things, right? Which is make sure that you're doing, make sure that you are doing the respective amount of prospecting. If it is your target is, let's say, 500,000, make sure that you have a potential pipeline of,
5 million.
5 million. You know, you can't go 500,000 for 500,000.
It might sound ridiculous. and that's a bit of advice. If your pipeline is not 10 times your target, you're in problems. Real problems.
And what that means you have a lot to build that pipeline up. All right. So it is required of you to really put a lot of work in there to get your pipeline. And you want it to be healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. You want it to be healthy. And the second and most important thing is when you're identifying of the issues with the customer, one of the things that you need to be able to ask is time frame, so that you will now understand time frame of your, because I mean, we know that there are anomalies, right? You may forecast something in the month of February, but guess what? You have a shipping issue, the stuff can't clear on time, whatever it is.
The port strike. You never know.
Right? But you know that you have the ability to make that up, right? But the goal is that you need to have enough activity within your pipeline to be able to,
so that if something falls, something is there to take it to replace. And it's hard to do, and it takes a long while to do, but that's why you have to constantly prospect and always have that pipeline. Your pipeline is in meat.
You see, there may be about three words that I like to use with the guys that I work with, which is you need to be patient.
Yes.
You need to be persistent, and you need to be consistent.
Oh.
You understand? It's almost like a
hard person.
That's
consistent hard.
Yeah, that's the PCP. PCP is normally a drug anyway. But that's your PCP.
Yeah, I like that PCP. You need to have that. You need to have that drug in the system. If you don't have it, problems.
Yeah. So you need to be patient. You need to be consistent, and you need to be persistent. You have to be doing it. That's all that you need to do. Prospect, ask in the right way, get the relevant respective information, so that when you're making your forecast, when you're short on particular months like these, even though your manager asking, so how many is we going to make up the shortfall, you already know by March and April I should catch up for my first quarter.
Yep. So guys, I mean, just to wrap up, just remember, first, look at your pipeline, find your opportunities, find that, and you know, honestly, at least in one opportunity, there's a goal on one where you can actually probably do something in order just to really drive that business. There's always a goal on one. Find that one, highlight it, get it in. Second, well, what you need to do as well is create a value message for everybody, individualized. Why should I close with you this month? Right? So that once you communicate and they understand the value. Because if you just take people realizing that you're just trying to close for the sake of closing sake, you lose real credibility as a rep. Because you're not looking after the interest, you're looking after your pocket.
Yeah, you're hustling.
Which makes no sense. So keep that in mind. If you want us to recap anything, well, I mean, you have Lynn and you have myself, message us. We're always on Instagram. We respond to all the messages here on the page. So if you have any questions about this, let us know. We want to help you guys sell better.
Yeah, we want to get you better as a sales professional.
John, no.
Yep.
Have a good day, folks.
Peace.